Alright guys, it's Scrappy again. I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. OpTic once again streams their practice last night and did not lose a map. Their first scrim, you wouldn't have expected them to. They played Cloud9, they handled business, but after that they went on to play the Gentlemate and also dominated the result of the series. Lots of reaction from Pred and also from Shotzzy as to what this means, especially because after the Cloud9 series he says, we are never scrimming those guys again. We learn zero from playing a team that shouldn't even be in the Bro League. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Plenty to get into today. We're going to start here. Pretty interesting. We did this with FaZe the other day. And of course, you would expect the Championship Sunday record for a team is not going to be as good as it is on every other day because you're going to play better teams on the Championship Sunday. Now, since they've brought in Merc, they are 4-2 in series count on Championship Sundays, which is pretty respectable. Their overall record is 15-12, which is, you know, it's okay. It's not terrible. It's better than FaZe's. It's still not great, you might argue, but it is difficult to convert on Sundays. That is pretty clear. And every other day, this is OpTic's record at those tournaments. The other discussion with OpTic was coming around the Thieves match this weekend. So today's the 25th of February. In 3 days' time, that evening on the Saturday, they play LA Thieves, last match of the day. Banger game on paper and probably the only good game of the weekend. There will be some other good matches, but you look at the weekend's games, there's nothing spectacular in there. This could be a big one. Of course, you'd expect OpTic to win, but Thieves have been looking much better with Nium. At least they're 4-0 so far. They are the number 1, number 2 seeds respectively, and Thieves, they're finally going to get a challenge against a top quality team. It's always entertaining to see these two boys play. Now, the teams live relatively near one another. Could they do this in person? This was talked about, the OpTic guys mentioned it the other day to say, could we maybe make this happen in a LAN environment or certainly with the teams together? The CDL, they don't really seem to care. So, you know, if it happens online, which I'm sure that it probably will at this point, it will happen online. There would be some interest from the teams, right? The players, that's a different question, as we'll discuss right about now. But for the teams, you can obviously see the logic. Minnesota did this a couple of years back, you guys might remember. I think it was Modern Warfare 2. They put together some of their, well, they did a weekends with matches that were meant to be done online. They did them in person. They played Ravens, they played Boston, they sold out a theatre. It was a really cool setup, but obviously it was pretty costly, right? Not something that these teams have tried to do again. And I'm not saying that OpTic and Thieves would be inviting fans, but the argument would be there'd be some good content in it. You could record everything nicely in person. It would be better for the league to at least have some of these games, especially the big ones, happening in a kind of LAN environment to an extent. But obviously it's effort, right? It's setup. It's easier just to play from their facility and play online, even though they live just around the corner. Now, the OpTic boys were actually talking about this because they were thinking, well, could we maybe go to a neutral facility, go to the FaZe office or something, which isn't far away, and play there instead. Dashy was, you know, not very happy about that because he was like, well, FaZe are going to try and get content out of it if they were to do that. And Habibi, it's only 10 CDL points, right? It's not that serious. I'm not saying this is the same mentality as what Scrap had yesterday. Lots of you guys were giving your thoughts, and for good reason, on Scrap's opinion on playing too much COD or too many maps or whatever it was yesterday. But the conclusion that you've got to draw, and I think it's understandable, is that the players are not going to go out of their way to do something that takes extra effort unless they're going to get paid more money for it, even if they're already getting paid a lot of money, right? Like, yeah, the pros should be streaming more, and those that do make money from it, so of course they're going to do it. But it's like Scrap gets paid the same whether he scrims 5 maps or 10. So he's not going to advocate, even though it would be better for the scene and for the product and all of that. And if the pros all had the mentality of it being a better product for the fans, then great, it would be good for us. They would make decisions in that vein. But they're not going to do that, and they're not incentivized to do that. So this is the reason why on the Scrap map sets GA issue, the league just has to step in because the pros are not incentivized to do anything else. And it's kind of the same story here, right? Like, look, maybe it would be great for the OpTic guys to play Thieves in person and to make that happen on LAN this weekend, whatever that looks like. But the players aren't going to go out of their way to make that happen, right? yeah, it would be good content, but it doesn't matter for them. It's only 10 CDL points as far as they're concerned. So the only way to make this happen is either Thieves management, OpTic management, and the league, if they were to come together and try and make this work and speak to FaZe or whatever, and they said, yeah, this is what we're going to do, the players would be like, okay, sound. I mean, look, the players will deal with it. They might not always be happy with these things. Like, if they added more maps to the pool, the players might complain, but eventually they're just going to crack on because that's their job, right? But if you allow it to be their decision on how they construct what they're going to do, then of course they're going to do whatever's easiest. They're going to take the path of least resistance, try and be the best team and keep getting paid, you know, good money for sure. So yeah, I just thought it was interesting debate because the OpTic guys are like, well, yeah, I'm not particularly keen to go and play Thieves in person. And it's like, well, fair enough. And it's obviously it'd be good for us fans, but you've got to realize that if the league wants to make this happen, or if the teams want to make this happen, they're the ones who have to do the job, right? You can't just rely on the pros. And yeah, that's worthy criticism of the pros, I think, in some regards, but also I understand where the incentives on this one lie. Bottom line is, OpTic did have some great content yesterday because they turned the streams on for Scrims. They played Cloud9, and the funny thing is, you might even argue this is a more competitive series than the next one they played, but they slammed Cloud9. It wasn't even close, and that isn't much of a surprise. After this series, Shotzzy came out and said, that was a pretty funny screenshot here, he was like, why are we scrimming those guys? No disrespect, but we're literally learning nothing playing Cloud9 right now. It is an embarrassment for Cloud9 as an organization, and I wish the players the best, but like, come on, right? This team would not be a good challengers team as it stands. They are in hell playing against some of the top level pros. You know, there are probably some challengers teams that wouldn't even scrim these guys if they were a challengers team. So, you know, for OpTic to go for scrims against them, Shotzzy's like, well, yeah, we played them once, but I ain't trying to do that again because there was nothing that we took from that series. The next series they played was against Paris. Now, on paper, you'd expect this one to be really interesting. And Shotzzy did explain on stream that, like, scrims aren't that deep in terms of scrims are important. The fact that you're practicing is important. The results of the scrim don't matter tremendously, but they can give teams confidence or they can demoralize a team or whatever. Shotzzy was saying that at the LAN event, the scrim results against Gentlemates did not really align. You know, they were doing really well against Gentlemates in scrims at the LAN, but then in the finals, obviously, it's a different story. And also, scrims are respawn, fundamentally. It was the search and destroys where Gentlemates really beat OpTic in the grand finals. So, yes, some debate on how much that matters. The reality is, if you win every single map without losing one, then you're probably a pretty good team. Shotzzy was saying that, I think out of like the 50, let's say, out of 50 maps that they would play in the lead up to Major 1, they'd win like 43 of them. So that's why even when OpTic were kind of struggling towards the middle of January, Shotzzy was like, yeah, we're still that team, don't worry about it. But to play Gentlemates and to beat them 8-0 was very impressive, right? Especially because Gentlemates effectively rage quit towards the end of the series. They weren't especially happy. Couple of great clips. Formal reacts to a lot of it. Let me share a couple of them, then we'll talk about some of the maps in more detail.
Oh, that's trolly. Free,
bro. Oh. Nah, dude, chat, without due respect, I'm not even trolling. Like, it's literally useless, dude. Like, I'm not even trolling. Like, I'm not even trying to be a dick. Like, genuinely, I'm being deadass. Like, it's literally, we're not learning shit. And it's just pointless. Like, I'd rather play them in, like, S&D and shit. I'm just being real. I mean, you judge me because I'm saying that? Then fuck it.
Next, Grimace.
Gentlemates, bro. Better than you guys, actually.
Are you screaming Gentlemates? Oh, bro.
Fuck yeah. Tune in, dude.
You screaming Gentlemates?
Yeah. Wow. Oh, is that what you guys played? No. Yo. Oh, they're warmed up then, bro. I gotta watch out.
Voila, my controller's broken.
Yo.
Yo, my shit's broken. Yo, I might need you to fucking drive by fucking that shop, that Diva shop, dog.
Yeah, that guy was like, "Whoa,
I
I can't play."
cannot wait to get my Marius, dude.
Bro, no way. You guys got
Pretty quick
8 0'd
time
by
snaking.
fucking gentlemen.
Oh yeah, by the way, Snake, Nep is snaking his dick off.
He's snaking his cock off? Alright, gotcha. I'll snake.
Yeah, lay down backwards and do your stick.
I'll do the
Shit
rock
that you
tune shit
want to
too.
do.
Don't even worry, bro.
You gonna do what?
I'm gonna do the rock tune shit. Don't worry.
The rock tune shit, yeah, do that. The rock tune shit. Rock, he's gonna sit in the rock. What rock? Oh, the quick exposure.
They're spawning there, dude.
Mace is on a pinch too.
Come on, Brandon, call game.
OT.
Oh, it's OT though. Oh, he still gets some.
Couldn't get the
While
second.
stunned. Oh, someone else died too. 2v3.
One guy got a kill. Patile is the Dan. I'm gonna try and go towards him, but Mace is in a really good
Wait.
corner here. Nice.
Oh
Good
my
job,
god.
Mace. Nice, Mace. Just run this shit in. Last guy's in our base. Run this
Wow. He calls game. That's insane, bro. That's insane.
Good shit. Drazah?
Oh. Holy shit.
Oh my god.
That was
oh my
gross.
God, oh my god. Oh my
That was gross. The fuck?
Great. He's going to backstairs.
That was a
Or
good
he's
nade.
gonna wrap all the way around left.
Wow, they just ended it.
What happened?
Holy shit. Don't say what happened like you don't know. Hindu, thank you for the prime for 4, bro. Or I guess HL Hindu. Thank you, brother. Dude, they just ended the game. Jesus. JP's host? He's not host. Isn't he not host? I could have sworn I was just in his game. During his stream. Yeah, JP said he's not host. Gentlemates are. The end of the scrim, probably. Yeah, they're super checked.
It's like,
Think you would have been on a top team in H5 if you weren't competing in COD? Yeah, I probably would have been.
So your 2 finalists from Major 1, of course OpTic won more maps against Gentlemate at the tournament in Dallas, but you know, we know how the finals format works. In the end, it was a victory for the Gentlemates 4-3. And look, it is scrims at the end of the day, and Gentlemates, OpTic, online, who knows where things really stand. LAN is going to be a different story. We've seen some, you know, surprising results. Even Thieves with Kenny, they used to have really good scrim results against OpTic, and that wouldn't always translate, of course. And as Shotzzy also went on to say, it's like, look, sometimes your scrims can be frying, but then you go to a match and get 3-0'd. You know, the translation to the match and all this. A lot of it comes down to search and destroy, I think, because they do scrim it, but certainly not against the top teams all the time. I think Don said on the show the other day that OpTic actually like to scrim the Bush boys in Search and Destroy. They'll put up a bit of money, they'll play a chow effectively over 11 maps, and he said that actually they played an 11 map set against OpTic. I think Bush beat them 6-5 or something like that. So they have competitive sets in Search against a lot of challenger teams. They don't necessarily want to give away too much to the top pro teams, which is fair enough, but in the respawn modes, OpTic are clearly the team to beat on this evidence, especially because Gentlemates considered best hardpoint team in the game by the numbers so far this season. That is true, but based on this scrim, it's a different story. So OpTic win the Colossus 251-71. Dashy goes 37-20 with 2 minutes in the hill. We don't see that scoreline too often in the Pro League so far this season, but it's nice to see that Dashy still got it in there. He had a great map as well here, very similar stat line actually, 33-22 with 2 minutes in the hill on the Den. They won that one as well. A lot of them, you know, they weren't absolute massive blowouts, but relatively comfortable victories here for OpTic. Merc went 32-22 on the exposure. They won the Scar as well. So, you know, interesting actually, because if you look at the numbers on the left-hand side, the slaying was, I guess, pretty even across the board in this one. Huke drops 40 though. They win that map as well. They then won the Black Heart 251-92. Not a map that OpTic really play. Again, Dashy 38-24. Mega series from him, it looks like. Then they went on to play the Overloads, of course. They won this one. We saw that crazy clip on the Den 6-5. And then the other two maps, though, were really dominant. OpTic just handled business on the Scar and on the exposure. to such an extent that the Gentlemates boys called it a day. So an impressive day's outing, that is for sure, by OpTic Texas. Again, what does it mean? What does it translate to? Oh, here we go again, right? Like OpTic are frying in scrims. But I think the other positive is, as we saw from the conversation with Pred, it looks like Falcons just got slammed by Gentlemates. So it's not like Gentlemates just had a bad day at the office. Like, they were playing some good stuff. They'd taken down the Falcons, and there was talk, with Neptune snaking and all this, and the same kind of thing happened in the OpTic series as well. So then Shotzzy and the OpTic guys had to step up. But they're looking in good nick right now. That is for sure. Going into, well, I was going to say going into Major 2. We've still got another month and a bit until we get there because of all these online qualifiers. But it's good to see some of this action hitting the timeline at the very least. So very much interested to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.